Humans, the cardboard. Welcome back to Just Nuts, guys. We are back, finally, back on the news grind. Apologies that I missed all the news from the last week. I will be making a video tomorrow. I'm planning on it, covering everything that I missed while I was gone. But tonight, this is the first day I just got back. We have the official reveal for the Killer Tune archetype, which is the third and final archetype that was waiting to be revealed for the new deck build pack, which is pretty cool. So we'll see how they go. We've already had a Hecaton Trees as well as what's the other name? I can't. Enneacraft, I think, is the name. We're going to cover Enneacraft tomorrow, but this is the third and final one, so we'll actually have a good eye on like what these three archetypes are all about. Let's get into it. So starting off here, we start with Killer Tune Mix. Cool artwork on her. Honestly, I'm getting Splatoon vibes almost from these a little bit, just from like seeing these artworks tonight. This is a level 2 Wind Warrior Tuner, so Rhoda's in the mix here for sure. Its attack is 100, its defense is 2000. If this card on the field would be used as synchro material, one tuner in your hand can be used as one of the other materials. One tuner in the hand. But if it's a tuner in the hand, it has to count as a tuner. So that only really helps with like making a synchro that needs multiple tuners, because this card's a tuner. And then you can only use the first and second effect once per turn. Okay, so that's a really weird effect. I'm sure this might be just like the gimmick of the archetype. If this didn't specifically say like a tuner, or if this card wasn't a tuner, this would make more sense to me. But because then even like Ash Blossoms, just a level 3 tuner, could help you actually make like some cool synchro 5s really easily, even with non-engine cards potentially, but I don't know. We'll see. If this card is normal or special, you can add a Killer Tune monster from deck or graveyard to hand, except a level 2. It's a Stratos. Cool. It's a Rotable Stratos. Love it. If this card is sent to the graveyard as synchro material, you can target a monster your opponent controls, destroy it. It's just a good card, man. It would have been a good card with just the first effect, but you get that bonus removal effect where if we're quick syncing, we're interrupting our opponent. If we're playing into a board, we're starting to crack into the board. And also you throw in the bonus that it has this effect that could potentially make the deck more flexible and how it's able to synchro. It's cool. I like it. Also, just potentially giving you ways to play around like stuff like Molcharmy, Perulia, right, where you don't actually have to pull a monster out of the hand. You can just immediately synchro, which is cool. So there's some cool play around potential there. It's interesting. That's a cool mechanic. We'll see where they go with it. Next up here, we move to Killer Tune Clip. This is a level 2 Dark Thunder. Level 2 Thunder. That's giving Sprite vibes, but we'll see. Not a ton of other synergy there though. 800 attack, 1000 defense. Isn't that the Monarchs, the tiny Monarch monster stat? That might actually matter. That may be searchable there. If this card on the field be used as synchro material, you can use a tuner in your hand as well. This card's also a tuner, so again, like a little bit awkward, but maybe the synchros require 2 tuners. We'll see. During your opponent's main phase, you can special summon this card from your hand. Then immediately after this effect resolves, synchro summon 1 tuner. I'm assuming that's like a synchro tuner monster. Ooh, that is really cool. So here, this is something we've been seeing all over the place. We saw it with Hecaton Cherise as well in the same deck build pack. We saw it in the last deck build pack with the one Draco Tail level 5 girl. We saw it with the Canine Izuna. Like archetypes just be getting like in archetype hand traps now. We also saw it with the Vanquish Soul, the new Vanquish Soul card. We're seeing it left and right, and I kind of like it because like it's not generic stuff, so not every deck is playing it, but individual decks are getting their way of having like a bonus hand trap in their strategy. This seems to be it. Now, the one thing that's weird with this is that you do have to have a way of putting a monster on the field to pair with this. You have to have something, right? So that because this card just can't synchro immediately. Actually, you can. I'm sorry, because as long as you just have a tuner in hand, this effect will allow you to potentially get into something, which is cool. But yes, jumps on the field and immediately goes. I like this. Doesn't even have to be a trigger. This can just fire whenever, so pretty flexible at doing that. And it doesn't even force you to synchro into in archetype synchros. You can potentially just be getting into non-archetype, synchros that are just generically good. So we'll see. And secondly, if this card is sent to the graveyard as sync material, you can banish one random face-down card from your opponent's extra deck. Oh my God. See that now that's insane because now you're just even potentially hitting high rolls on like just completely decimating your opponent's strategy if you hit like a crazy one of. Okay, sure. And then even turn after turn, just hitting another card, really killing their grind potentially, or at least utility. Yeah, okay, very interesting, cool. Next up, we move to Killer Tune Reco. This is a level 3. This is a level 3 Fire Fiend tuner. Fire Fiend, does that matter? I don't know. It's a level 3 Fiend. Does Tour Guide have to summon a Dark? I can't even remember. That could matter here. 1500 attack, 800 defense. This card, if this card on the field would be used, you can use a tuner in your hand as well. You can use the 2 effects once per turn. If this card is normal or special, you can add a killer tune monster from your deck to your graveyard, except a level 3. So this one adds the level 2s. The level 2s add this one looks to be the only one because that searcher above still adds only a monster. So there's some weird confliction there, but okay. And then if this card is sent to the graveyard as Synchro material, you can target a spell or trap your opponent controls, destroy it. I like that they all just have the bonus, removal of some type of form. That's cool. It's just good utility. But it seems like they all work if these synchros work the way we hope they do. So this one is Killer Tune Track Maker. I like the artwork on this guy. He's very fun. He's cool. Yeah, he's hip. I love it. I like him. Light Machine Synchro Tuner. He is a Synchro Tuner. He requires, he's level 4, 0 attack, 2500 defense, so very defensive. He requires a Killer Tune Tuner plus another tuner. Okay, so that opens the door for hand traps to work here. And it makes it so these cards are actually like one card plays, or at least one card him, right? She normal summon searches either of the others, and then because of their effect on field, she can just immediately synchro with one of these in hand to get. Oh, actually, she can't. You have to go into 5. But if you have the 2, you can use a 2 and another 2. But I'm assuming we'll get more here. Which ones are these? 30, 31, 32. 33. Yes, so we're missing a main deck monster. I'm assuming we're going to get one more level 3. It will make this work. And then same thing. This one searches a level 2. You can get into a 5. We'll see the 5 in a sec. But yeah, very cool. As for its actual effects, if this card on the field would be used as synchro material, you can use another tuner in your hand. This card is a tuner, so keep that in mind. If this card is special summoned, you can add 1 Killer Tune card from your deck to your hand. Sure. And if this card is sent to the graveyard as synchro material, you can return 1 card your opponent controls to the hand, keeping the vibe of this deck going. I like it. It's cool. I'm into it. Next up, you have Killer Tune Remix. This is a Synchro 5. We have multiple 5s and even a 6 as well. Okay, cool. I like that we have a lot of different synchros here. The first one's already really good. But 5 seem to make a little more sense because the 2 only searches the 3s and because the 3 only searches the 2s. The 5 seem to be a little easier to make in the deck, especially factoring in using your 2s with Ash Blossoms, Ogres, Ghost Bells, the Ghost Sisters that also happen to just be level 3 tuners. There's extra synergy there. But anyway, this one's a Dark Warrior. Synchro Tuner, level 5, 1500 attack, 2000 defense. It requires specifically Killer Tune Mix, which is this. Mix. Who's Mix? Okay, this one, her. It specifically requires her. And then any one or more tuners. Sorry, you can only use the second once per turn. Gains 1500 attack while your opponent has a tuner on their field or in their graveyard. Again, with stuff like Ash Blossom and some of the other just generic hand traps in Yu-Gi-Oh, even if they're not on a synchro strategy, that could still be very fillable. So 3000 attack is very doable here. During your opponent's turn, you can tribute this card to take 2 non-synchro tuners from grave. Add 1 to hand, and if you do special the other, then immediately after this effect resolves, you can synchro summon 1 tuner monster. Yeah, that's pretty good. A very yummy like effect, because it's not summoning from deck. There are certain cards that can mess with this. Ghost Bell being pretty good, also pretty good against, also a decent card against Yummy. I would think, but whatever. But not Ashable. It's Dominus Impulsible, I guess, but yeah, it's still like pretty cool. And the fact that it's a quick effect, it's only on the opponent's turn, but a quick effect to help you fire this at the right time to get into a more impactful synchro. Not to mention you're like taking 2 monsters, getting them back, synchroing with them immediately to make a synchro that probably has an interactive effect, and you're also going like, oh, popping a back row, hitting an extra card, popping a monster. Like you're hitting, you know what I mean? You're doing 2 of those probably, and we'll see what the other one ends up being as well. Pretty good. It's cool. All right, next up we move into the keep it with the 5s. Killer Tune Red Seal. This was the monster on the initial artwork for the new archetype. It's a Dark Fiend tuner. 1724 for the stats. It requires specifically Reco. That's her. It requires specifically her to make it. A plus tuner. You can only use the 3rd effect once per turn. Gains 300 attack for every tuner in the graveyards. Again, that's yours and your opponent's, and generic hand traps still factor in here, so that's pretty nice. The levels of monsters your opponent controls with 1700 or less original attack are increased by 1. Gotta love that. That is actually just a nasty floodgate, especially because this deck seems like it's going to be able to fairly easily like pivot into making whichever synchro you really want in the archetype consistently, because like once you see that you're playing an exceed based deck and you just make this, well, guess what, you're playing against a rank 4 deck, and now all their monsters are level 5s. Brutal. They lose, right? Or if you just want removal, you can also go that route, right? Very cool. And then during the main phase, you can banish a tuner from your graveyard to target a face-up card your opponent controls, negates effects until the end of this turn. That is insane as well. This is main phase only, but this is one of those effects where it's targeting any card. So you can even target a spell or trap that is just attempting to resolve, and that. So it's like basically an on-field Omni. Very powerful. All you have to do is banish a tuner from grave. Not a huge cost there. This is a really good card because that's a solid interruption on top of a pretty powerful floodgate, depending on the matchup. So yeah, that's another really good option. Our final synchro for the archetype for the first wave here is Loudness War. It's a synchro 6. So again, we're climbing. We have 1 4, 1 6, which means this could probably require the 2 3s. I'm assuming the last card we'll get revealed later is a 3. We've already mentioned that. I'll mention it again later. Level 6 though, 0 attack, 3000 defense. This one is completely generic. Just any 2 tuners that just add up to 6 basically. That's cool. You can only use the second effect of this card once per turn. Other tuners you control cannot be destroyed by card effects. Also, your opponent cannot target them with card effects. It's only others. It doesn't protect itself, which is kind of weird, but like, okay. And when your opponent activates a card or effect, quick effect, banish a killer tune monster from your grave. Apply its effect that activates if sent to the graveyard as synchro material. This is so okay. It's really not that incredible. This card is not. This is maybe the worst of the synchros, I feel like. It's not terrible, right? Like, this is pop a monster. This is pop a spell or trap. This is hit a card in the extra deck, and we'll see what the last one ends up being. Maybe it's hand hitting. Maybe it's like a random hand hit. But I don't know if Konami shouldn't really be dealing with hand rips. But I'm just trying to think of what's different than spell or trap removal, monster removal, extra deck removal. Maybe it's main deck removal. It's like banish face down the top 3 cards of your opponent's deck or something. We'll see. All right, into the spell and traps. Let's finish up here. Killer Tune Synchro, quick play spell. You can only activate 2 cards of this card's name per turn. So this is basically twice per turn. You cannot special summon for the rest of the turn after this card resolves, except for tuners. Oh, tuners, period. Not even synchros. Tuners we're locked into. Also, add 1 Killer Tune card from your deck to your hand. Then immediately after this effect resolves, you can synchro summon a tuner. This card's incredible. Quick play searches are so good because they're consistent while also still giving you some play around for stuff like Droll. And this card even has the added ceiling of immediately synchro summoning. So you can just synchro from hand if you already have one on field, which is quite good. And it adds any card. So even those other spells and traps. Yeah, this card's phenomenal for sure. Next up here, we have Juke Joint Killer Tune. We got a field spell. You can only use a third effect of this card once per turn. During your main phase, you can normal summon a tuner in addition to your normal summoner set. You can only gain this once per turn. Okay. Bonus normal for a tuner. This card, Killer Tune Loudness War. That's your Synchro 6. Gains 3,300 attack while your opponent has a tuner on their field or in their graveyard. Okay, whatever. You contribute 1 tuner to add to your hand or special summon 1 Killer Tune monster from your deck. Also, you cannot special summon for this a turn except tuners. I don't hate that. That's actually kind of nice. Could help you play through interaction, right? You normal summon 1, it gets negated. You activate this, you tribute that 1 that you normal summoned, or because even it getting negated means you won't be able to synchro from hand because that on-field effect won't be live anymore. But then you can summon another one, go from there, and just try to play through stuff. Tributes for cost, which means you lose harder to stuff like Ash, but uh, you know, could make you play around with some other stuff somehow. But yeah, just okay. I don't know. It's still not a crazy consistency card, but it's all right. You could also even potentially unbrick random hands by like normal Ash, tribute Ash to get into an actual engine card. You never know. Final card here is a new trap card. This is Killer Tune Playlist. It's a normal trap. You can only activate 2 cards. Again, hard twice per turn is hilarious. Once per turn, target 1 Killer Tune monster you control or in your graveyard. Apply these effects in sequence. Also, you cannot special summon for the rest of the turn after this card resolves, except tuners. I like these hard locks because this does keep this archetype very, very pure, outside of like maybe some generic tuner monsters that exist for the deck to take advantage of, but we'll see. Apply its effects that activates engrave if it's sent to the graveyard for synchro material, and then return it to the hand. Love that. So like you're getting the resource back, and you're just like, oh, do I want to pop? Do I want an extra rip? Do I want a spell or trap pop? Do I want whatever the last effect is going to be? That even includes the synchros as well. So that means you can even go for, which one's the one I want? Yeah, you can even go for track maker, where when he's sent to the graveyard, you can bounce a card. So it's like a card bounce, a monster pop, a spell or trap pop, an extra deck rip. We'll see what the other one ends up being, while also getting that monster back to the hand, which is just added bonus. So it's an okay interruption. It's not a crazy card, but like we've seen cards like this find a home in certain decks where it's like it's a one of. Our end board doesn't feel strong enough. We want to have it be more varied. It's not all monsters on field. We want some representation in the spell and trap zone for interaction, and this card can still put in work that way. And yeah, that's the last card. I like it. I was kind of worried about this archetype, but I kind of like the way it's shaping out. Sometimes I have trouble with synchro decks because like they're just like worse exceeds. Like exceeds just seem more accessible because it's just any 2 monsters with the same level for the most part can get you into stuff. Link's obviously even more accessible than exceeds, and synchros are just a little more outdated. But I think they did a good job here of like all these all the main deck monsters, and plus you have the searcher that like all feel like 1 card lines to at least get into these synchros. It feels very sprite-ish, where it feels like we're not setting up like insane end boards, but it's like we're gonna have a monster pop and a monster bounce and probably the trap set and a way to quick synchro on the opponent's turn. So like it looks kind of unassuming, but it probably adds up to like actually like a pretty high amount of interactions at the end of the day. And then, of course, the final card that we don't have here, we have 31 with Mix. We have 32 with Clip, 33 with Reco. We do not have 34. So almost for sure, I can almost guarantee you that it's going to be a second level 3. The way that the synchros are leveled out, it feels like there should be another level 3 here. So we'll see what it ends up doing. We have 2 starters, and one of them's a warrior, so like stuff's already pretty accessible here. We'll see. I also wonder, like, because the deck's only lock is certain cards lock you into only being able to summon tuners specifically. Are there any generic tuners that are just straight up good enough to just also see play here? Obviously, we're kind of hard focused on like 2s and 3s, but could open up some cool stuff there. Maybe as some cool generic options to also, put towards the strategy. But cool deck. Feels a little normal summon heavy, because like it feels like this deck really does rely on like this effect in a lot of cases. It really does. So like if your opponent can just like kind of remove your normal summon and just kind of keep you off of like turning that on and being able to get to that first synchro, it feels like they can kind of cut you off. But Yummy kind of has a similar issue. So we'll see. We'll see. But it's cool. I think it's got good potential. I'm curious to see that last card. And very, very cool. I like the artwork as well. It's a cool new deck. I'm curious to see where this kind of stacks up with the new modern power level of like, the last deck build pack that's kind of been taking over. But we'll see. I'm out of here for today, though. Thank you so much for watching. As always, guys, subscribe to the channel for more stuff from me down the line. Let me know your thoughts on this new archetype. We'll cover all the other new stuff from the last week tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.